It's so interesting because when I started writing the book, it was many years ago, and the concept was there, and the tagline, "Building the Home Within," was there. But I didn't even know that by me making that statement, "Building the Home Within," how the universe is going to play here. Because once you make a statement and you make an intention, sometimes the universe reveals to you stuff that you like, whoa, I didn't expect that. Did I think building the home within was this? Well, let's see it when your circumstances are changing. And my outside world of building the home within, the external, right, the more of a materialistic, the way it looked on the outside started to really crumble and looked very different. And I started to notice how my inside, my inner home started to shift. And that was like, I would say 8 years ago when I started writing. And then that book started to really evolve with me. It was definitely a transformation. And I think coming here to Costa Rica and traveling the whole year, actually, it's been a COVID travel. I've been on more plane rides that I have been in the last 5 years. In 1 year, I did a lot. I just traveled all over. And majority of my book I wrote in Greece. And ending of my book is happening here in Costa Rica. And a part of my book was written in Israel where I grew up. I needed to go back home to just feel the energy and work with obstacles that was going on in my life and barriers that needed to break. And probably the final healing that I felt like, wow, this is like, the grand finale. It feels very much here in Costa Rica. I'm going back to New York, knowing that this is a journey that we constantly unfolding and evolving. And even though this book is pretty much complete, and we start to come to a place, well, I know everything. You also come at the same time to a place, I know nothing. And you go back into something we call Shumna, which is like the beginning, the start, the emptiness, maybe the pause in between. And that pause and that gap is could be very uncomfortable space to be in, but it's also when things happening. And I think my book is really more about curiosity of being in a space of unknown and really understanding that the more you let go, the more you surrender, the more you find in your center. And at the same time, as you're in the center, softening more, listening more attentive, right? Even this wind that is coming through me right now, that's just, showing me even more to take a deeper breath, to surrender more, to connect to this beauty and to this nature. So I guess ultimately the book is about going into the knowing. We have this really, really, really powerful, beyond words, of a place called knowing, and it's the inner self. And that space of the voice, the connection, the inner dialogue, of where my teacher would always say, this inner dialogue. And it took me time to understand the inner dialogue, but I learned it pretty much early on when I started practicing Iyengars in the late 80s in New York City, where I started walking in New York City and having this inner conversation within and feeling so much my feet on the ground and so connected. And even though in my life I had all these twists and turns and challenges and not feeling like I have a home or a community or sisterhood, things that were lacking, those obstacles really brought me deeper into the inner home I have within myself, which is beyond my physical home, and it's beyond the community maybe, and it's beyond sisterhood. I'm first sister to myself. I'm first liking myself. I'm first a great community and a company to myself. That center, that inner knowing is the foundation of the inner home. And that was for me the desire why I wanted to write this book, because I knew what I'm feeling, other women feeling too. I knew that what I'm going through, I knew that someplace in the world, in this existence, another human being, another female going through the same thing. And I wanted to share my story so I can connect to you, to a deeper connection with women. And you know, and I would say that men too, if they connect to their feminine side, which is so beautiful for me to see. Like, you know, in the old days when I was younger, when I saw a guy who was feminine, it didn't feel comfortable. I noticed how my body shifted. I liked it, but I also was uncomfortable with it. And now I see the beauty in the feminine in men, you know, when they cry, when they can dance, when they can dance and can wear something that is more gentle and feminine, and how beautiful it is. And it's not to label it, not to label he's this and he's that. And when we take those labels as criticism and the judgment that I had towards myself, I was doing it to myself. And the moment I started to realize it, I started to see the beauty and the beauty within. And this is ultimately what we're looking for, is this joy, this beauty, the stillness, this music, the sound, the chime, the love that we have as a connection as human beings. And that's what my book is about. And join me on this journey, because the more we connected, it will definitely uplift my spirit, but I wanted to uplift your spirit too. Namaste.